Welcome back to Newsmax Now. Hillary Clinton already has a plan to take down Donald Trump should he become the GOP nominee. The New York Times writes today Hillary's strategy is beginning to take shape. Groups that support Clinton are preparing to create and test attack ads that would show Trump as a misogynist and an enemy to the working class that he's worked so hard to court. The Times writes, to fight Mr. Trump's ability to sway the news cycle, Bill Clinton would not hold back on the stump, and President Obama has told allies he would gleefully portray Trump as incapable of handling the duties of the Oval Office. And here's a look at Hillary's five-part plan. Number one, attack Trump's temper and question his ability to run the country. Number two, portray Trump as bigoted and sexist to turn females against him. Three, show Trump as a ruthless businessman who's working against the middle class. And four, enlist allies like Bill Clinton and President Obama to respond to Trump's attacks, keeping Hillary out of the fray. And five, goad Trump into making more offensive comments so he'll alienate more voters.
All right, thanks, Miranda. Joining us now for more on this is Rick Ungar, senior political contributor at Forbes.com and the host of Steele Ungar on SiriusXM POTUS, channel 124, from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. every night. You can listen, but you also need to watch Newsmax TV during that time.
Listen, I heard a rumor that somebody in that studio over there was listening and called in.
Maybe. If you hear any callers on that show, John from Florida, it's not me. I'm just saying. It's not me. Great show. Congratulations too, Rick. I really enjoy tuning in sometimes when I'm driving home. But let's talk about Hillary Clinton. We played a soundbite earlier from her. You can hear the confidence in her voice, and she's kind of hit the home stretch on the Democratic nomination process, and she is gearing up to attack Donald Trump, and she looks like she's going to do it and enjoy it at the same time. We're also hearing what role Bill Clinton might play in this attack plan, as well as Barack Obama. But we read off that list of the 5-point plan. Everything in there, with the exception of Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, has been tried by the Republican candidates, has it not?
To various degrees. It's funny, when I was listening to you rattle off the list, I was thinking the exact same thing. Well, that hasn't worked very well so far. So I think you raised a fair point. Look, this is going to be, assuming that these two are the nominees, and I think that by the end of the night tonight, that's precisely what we'll be assuming. It's going to be maybe the ugliest political campaign, certainly in my memory, and I'm a very old guy.
Yeah, even uglier than the Republican nominating process, which from everybody who's talked about ugly things, this is the ugliest thing they've ever seen so far. How do you think the nation will respond, Rick? Because there's a lot of anger out there, but I think at a certain point, folks don't want to hear that so much.
Well, I think there's something to be said for that, but we don't like hearing it now, and it's not keeping the Republicans from dishing it out in rather large measures. So, listen, candidates get to call the shots on how they want it to be, and they do it based on what they think it's going to take to win. What I think Democrats have to be a bit wary of, I hear a little too much of Democrats saying, oh, let's help Trump become the nominee because he'll be easy to beat. That is a very serious mistake. Everybody thought Trump would be very easy to beat in the Republican contest. We're seeing how that worked out. I think he's going to be very formidable. So they have to be very cautious with this.
Well, again, if you read that New York Times speech, which is great insight, by the way, you also hear that the person leading that charge saying, no, don't take Donald Trump lightly. And that's Bill Clinton.
That's right. He's right. You can't do it. I mean, look, we all took him lightly, 6 months ago, and we've all ended up looking kind of foolish for having done so. Bill Clinton, say what you will about him, the man has got the political instincts that very few can claim. He's got it exactly right. Taking him lightly could easily end up in a loss.
All right, well, we also saw what happened in South Carolina, Rick, and Miranda's going to join us now, too. Hillary Clinton dominated the African-American vote, and that looks to carry over to other places as well. Is that the reason why, when she looks at the potential matchup with Donald Trump, that she has so much confidence right now, is how well she has been able to do with these black voters?
In part, it's really interesting. I've been spending some time the past few days going through the numbers, knowing that she's going to be able to deliver big numbers on the black vote, knowing she's going to be able to deliver very good numbers on the Latino vote should give her a measure of confidence. But there's a big however. What we're seeing in the Republican primary process is Trump is bringing in enormous numbers of new voters. So if he does the same in the election, all of these percentage skews that we look at can be way off. If he brings in enough new voters, it could be enough. That's going to be the issue. How many new white voters will Trump bring to the polls?
Yeah, Rick, though, I want to ask you, though, is there any strength in numbers? I know we've been saying maybe it's a little too late for people to kind of gang up on Trump now, especially when he's doing so well in the polls. But when you have, like, the vast majority of the GOP establishment going against him and Democrats going against Trump, is it possible that together Republicans and Democrats could unite and take out Trump?
Well, it's hard to envision that they would unite, but I know what you're asking. Look, this is a lot of what we're going to be talking about in the radio show tonight. Is there a way to stop him? My personal opinion, way too late, had to be done earlier. I can't see the situation, absent Trump stepping in it beyond all belief. And boy, he's done a lot of things that should have done him in, and it didn't. It's very, very, very hard for me to see how he's stoppable at this point.
Well, Rick, like you, I've been looking at the numbers, and I know the polling is a little squirrely when it comes to some of these other Super Tuesday states, not like Iowa and New Hampshire, where you have months of polls leading up to it. But I don't see any way Donald Trump does not dominate tonight and basically sews up the nomination. And when you look at it, going back what you said also, where he brings in all these new white voters, new voters who were not energized by Mitt Romney, I do think that shakes things up. And that is why Bill Clinton is cautioning Hillary Clinton not to take Donald Trump lightly. I do think we've seen record turnout, too.
That'll be the big question. Also, too, how well he does with white female voters. And he's done pretty darn well. So that's going to be something to watch. I'm with you, John. It's hard for me to envision anybody stopping him. That said, we do have the large Middle Western states to go. We do have California's. We have New York's. We have some big delegate tallies out there yet to go. But I don't see it stopping him.
Any predictions tonight?
Trump in a landslide. I mean, he'll lose maybe one, maybe two at the most states, and I think Hillary will basically come out of this the pre-presumptive nominee from her party.
And Bernie Sanders will be her mascot from here until Philadelphia.
Oh.
No,
he vows he's going to stay in it. I just don't see how he's really competitive, other than to help get his message across, which
that's true. But she'll let him do it. She'll let him do it. She'll treat him very, very well from here on out.
Yep, she'll start doing the thing that Barack Obama did to her back in 2008, talking about mathematics.
That's right.
Rick, thanks so much for being with us. Catch Rick tonight at 6 p.m. on SiriusXM, POTUS Channel 124. And just ahead, a news photographer choked out at a Trump rally speaks out today. Find out why he is pointing the finger directly at the Secret Service. We're coming back with more after this.